Network.
The Yankees have made their way from Detroit to Toronto, where it feels a little bit like fall weather in Ontario this evening. That's why they're breaking out the turtlenecks for the ball game, as the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It's the Yankees against the Blue Jays in the first game of a two-game set. Hey everybody, Ryan Rucco alongside Ken Singleton. So happy to be with you this Tuesday night for Yankees baseball on Yes. One big lineup note for this game: Aaron Judge not in the Yankees lineup. Nothing wrong, just getting a day off on that turf. Expected to be back in the lineup tomorrow for the Yankees. Yesterday, Yankees played 2 in Detroit, split those games. The offense certainly made itself known in the first one.
Well, the first one and the second one. They got another home run in the second game, but the first game, they got 3 home runs. Gleyber Torres got it started with an opposite field home run just into the seats in right field at Comerica Park. Greg Bird, can you swing a bat any better than that? That was a home run, but the big blow of the game for the Yankees, Austin Romine, who's been hitting just fantastic. A 3-run shot. The Yankees won the first game 7-4. In game 2, well, Giancarlo Stanton hit by a pitch. Some history between he and pitcher Mike Fiers of the Tigers. Fiers had hit him before and ended the season. Next time up, well, Stanton takes care of that. 456 feet off Fiers, way back in the seats. Points after the mound to make another point. Don't hit me again. Yankees lost the second game. They came up a little short.
Now time for Lowe's whole team together. You take a look at the Yankees' offensive ranks this season. First in baseball in runs, first in homers, second only to the Cubs in on-base percentage, first in slugging, and they are third in runners in scoring position at a .275 batting average. We'll take a look at tonight's pitching matchup. It's brought to you by People's United Bank. CC Sabathia on the hill for the Bombers, 2-1 with a 3.73 ERA. Marco Estrada, coming off a very rough May, makes the start for Toronto, 2-6, a 5.68 earned run average, and he is going to watch out for Tyler Austin.
Yeah, Estrada's made 2 starts against the Yankees. Let's go all the way back to March 31st, and this is Tyler Austin. Not once, but twice he got into Estrada pitches and hit them way out of Rogers Center. The Yankees lost that ball game by a score of 5-3. And then on April the 20th, Estrada's pitching at Yankee Stadium, and Austin gets him again. Austin had 3 home runs at this point of the season, all 3 off Marco Estrada.
Austin in the lineup tonight as the Yankees take on the Blue Jays. We will have the full lineups. First pitch and baseball. Yankees Blue Jays, first of 2 from Toronto, is coming up next right here on Yes. here in Toronto and then head home. Now he's ready. So is Estrada. And we are underway as Gardner hits that on the ground to second. Easy for Travis. One down. To begin this game as we check out the defense presented by Geico across the outfield. Stanton, who is now homered in 2 of his last 3 games after going 10 games without him. Takes that outside for a ball, 1-0.
Yeah, yesterday's home run in the second game was very impressive. 56 feet.
There's 4 career home runs against Estrada. And the count 2-0 on Estrada.
Yankee fans are aware of the fact that Stanton has hit much better on the road this year than he has at Yankee Stadium. He has just under 300 batting average on the road.
Stanton drives that in the air, deep to right field, and over the top of the wall. Stanton will cruise into second with a double, just missing a home run. But he is in scoring position with 1 out here in the first.
That's his 5th hit on the road trip. Maybe to say he missed it by about a foot. Getting it out of the park. Let's see, the location's supposed to be low and away. And maybe it was a little up. More up than Russell Martin wanted it. It almost got out of the park as Grichuk goes back to the wall. Oh, that's less than a foot.
Yeah.
Wind's not blowing out here in Toronto tonight. Of course, the roof is closed, and the aerodynamics are just it's very placid in here.
Another good sign, though, when it comes to Giancarlo Stanton. Yeah. Ooh, I mean, that is.
Like,
that's just that's inches away from a home run. Two and 0 on Greg Bird.
Greg Bird, one of the Yankees that hit a home run. Yes, the Yankees are coming up on 100 home runs as a team. They've got 94 on the year. And you get Bird back in the lineup, that's certainly a power source.
I was talking with Greg Bird today, and he was saying he's been so happy with the rhythm that he's felt in since coming back, and what's encouraged him is he knows it's only going to get better, that these are still you know, games in their infancy for him this season, and so to feel this good this early really excites him about where he could get.
Well, one thing, he's got a 6-game hitting streak, but I wouldn't say he's really hot. In only one of those games does he have 2 hits.
Right.
So the other ones he's hitting for power, triples, doubles, home runs.
He's ahead in the count, 3-1 here on Estrada. Swing and a miss. Good changeup from Marco Estrada.
Yeah, that's his primary pitch. His fastball, you know, maybe will touch 90 miles an hour. That's why he's had to develop an excellent changeup. That's got Greg Bird way out in front.
Stan leads off second, 1 out here in the top of the first. Bird rolls that to first. Smoke gloves it, goes to the bag for the 2nd out as Stanton advances to 3rd.
Yeah, Estrada's not afraid to throw multiple, maybe even 3 times in a row, throw that changeup.
That'll leave it for Gary Sanchez, who is 2 for his last 32. Did have a couple of walks yesterday in the nightcap after having the day portion of the doubleheader off.
He's had some decent numbers against Estrada over the years.
Sanchez with 4 home runs against Estrada in his career. Outside, ball 1. I mentioned it yesterday, but Yankees hitting coach Marcus Timms has been working with Sanchez on just not trying to do too much, not trying to get that average up 30 points with 1 swing, because obviously that will not happen. Started down, went up, and is tilted back down for Gary Sanchez.
He needs a market correction about right now, doesn't he?
That's right. Sanchez hits that towards the hole. Gloved by Solarte across the diamond. Scooped up by Smoke for the final out of the inning. So the Yankees fail to score Stanton after the 1-out double. We go to the bottom of the first. Hernandez leading off the Hernandez. Solarte bats second. Justin Smoke with good numbers against the Yankees this year and good numbers in his career against CC Sabathia. Then it's Morales, Pilar, Martin, Randall, Grichuk just back off the DL. Diaz and Devin Travis to round out the Blue Jays starting lineup.
Veteran CC Sabathia with a record of 2-1 gets his start for the Yankees tonight. He, like Marco Estrada, did not win a game in the month of May. But we'll get back to that in just a moment. You can see 10 starts, a 2-1 record, 246 batting average against. In his career, he's 17-11 against the Blue Jays. Here's our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. Third time a charm. He's made 2 starts against the Blue Jays. No decisions each time. Maybe this one he'll get a win. And how about this? CC's a different type of pitcher now. He's not a power pitcher. He's going to need his defense behind him. The Yankees have made some errors in his starts. 8 unearned runs have been given up by CC this year, and no June swoon. We talked about May. In his career in June, he is 42-17. So he's been pretty good just when summer shows up.
We will face Hernandez leading off. And there's strike one. We mentioned that 42-17 in June. That is the 4th highest winning percentage in the month of June in the American League since 1920. Whitey Ford is tops on that list. Popped up. Right side. Torres makes the catch for the first out. We'll take a look at the defense behind Sabathia. It's presented by Geico. Gardner in left, Hicks in center, Stanton playing in right with Judge getting the day off, and Andujar at third with Gregorius and Torres up the middle. Bird at first, and Sanchez catching CC. Here's Yangervis Solarte, leads the Blue Jays in homers and runs batted in, the former Yankee.
He's now playing third base. Josh Donaldson on the disabled list for Toronto. The former MVP is out with a calf injury, and I asked if it was the same calf that bothered him last year and put him on the DL. No, it's the other one this time.
Nice changeup from Sabathia. Well, Donaldson has had a shoulder that landed him on the DL.
Yeah.
Has not been very productive when he has played, and now the calf injury. He is a free agent to be. And Vladimir Guerrero Jr., the big third base prospect, coming for Toronto. That's over the heart of the plate. 1-2. Guerrero Jr. is the big talk amongst Blue Jays fans. He has just been tearing up Double-A. And there were reports today that he may soon be promoted to Triple-A.
On his team is Craig Biggio's son. So they've got some sons of major leaguers on that team. I was talking to manager John Gibbons, and he said that the Blue Jays drafted Jeff Conine's son yesterday. So
baseball blood abound, and you see how ridiculous those numbers are at Double-A. A 4.09 average for Guerrero Jr.
Was it June the 5th, 6th?
Yeah. He already has 50+ ribbies.
John Gibbons was telling me he has a lot of mannerisms of his dad, but he's a little more selective hitter. His dad
not going to hit it off the dirt.
No, his dad would swing at anything. You released it, he was going to swing at it.
Lined up the middle of base hit center field for Yanhervis Solarte.
Let's take a look at Solarte jumps on here. Stays back, like a backdoor slider. CC reacts, can't come up with it. And over the head of Gleyber Torres and into center for the Blue Jays' first hit of the game.
Toronto just 8-16 against left-handed starters this season. They've lost a franchise record 9 straight games against lefties. Strike one to Justin Smoak.
Smoak had a breakout year last year when he hit 38 home runs and became more the player that the Texas Rangers thought they were getting when they drafted him #1 years ago.
And as a result, the contract he signed with Toronto looks like a huge bargain. Fly ball popped up to the right side, and Torres is there for the second out.
Yeah, that we were talking about CC needing his defense, and primarily because he'll let you hit the ball. He just doesn't want you to hit it hard. And that pop-up was off the end of the bat. Took something off, had Smoak out in front. And particularly the third baseman and the shortstop, with a lot of right-handed hitters in the lineup against, they're going to be busy. So they really have to be on their game.
Sabathia first in the American League in average exit velocity again since the start of 2017. And gets ahead of Kendrys Morales with strike one.
And to that end, Miguel Andujar and Gleyber Torres were out here earlier taking ground balls, getting used to the turf here in Toronto. Not many places these days with artificial surface. The Yankees did not take batting practice, so they used the time to get those youngsters acclimated to the Rogers Center.
Strike two from Sabathia. Morales 9 for 25 in his career against CC. That's a .360 average.
Well, something's got to give here because he's only hitting .195 against lefties this season. Switch hitter.
Driven in the air to right field and deep. Stanton has room on the track, makes the catch, and ends the inning. So Sabathia works around the one-out single from Solarte. No score after one in Toronto.
Feel for Jordan Montgomery, who was placed on the DL May 2nd with a left elbow strain. He will undergo Tommy John surgery on Thursday. Guys, this came as a little bit of a surprise because he had been throwing on flat ground. I spoke with him when we were at the stadium last week. He felt as though that arm was okay, no pain there. He was actually encouraged by the way things were progressing. However, all that changed. He traveled with the team to Baltimore. He started throwing on flat ground again there, and that's when he really started to feel something. He went back to New York on Sunday. Then Monday, he had an additional MRI, which revealed that he would, in fact, need Tommy John surgery.
You feel bad for the youngster. I mean, he had a tremendous year last year. It looked like he was poised to have another one this year. What did you say? His record was 3-0? Is that what it was?
6 starts.
2-0. Okay.
2-0, 6 starts, and Kenny, it just looked like he was pitching with so much more confidence this year as well. You could tell that he had really kind of grown into himself on the mound. The experience that he got last year in his rookie season had certainly paid off.
Didi behind in the count 1-2. Now, Meredith, we know that it also puts even more focus on Domingo Germán because now he's the 5th guy without Montgomery coming at any point this year.
And Boone confirmed that Germán will be the guy moving forward. Should they need another pitcher, more depth, they feel comfortable with a couple of guys in the minors. But Germán said today that being a guy that had Tommy John surgery certainly sympathizes with Montgomery. In fact, when I told him that he was going to have Tommy John, he was shocked. Nobody really knew in that clubhouse yet. But as of now, he said he's going to try to make the most of this opportunity, even though it came in a way that he wouldn't have liked for it to come. He believes that he is going to continue to get better and build up as a pitcher. He said every time he goes out there, he feels like he's continuing to learn and building more confidence batter by batter.
Well, we certainly want to wish Jordan Montgomery a quick, speedy recovery, get healthy, and get back pitching in the major leagues. The Yankees can use him.
And Kenny, you talk about that recovery. It's typically about 14 months, and for a starting pitcher, maybe even a little bit more, having to stretch him back out. And speaking with some people in the Yankees organization, they said probably the earliest you would see him is September of 2019.
Yeah, it's a long road, and certainly all well wishes to Jordan Montgomery. No score, top of the 2nd inning here in Toronto. First of a 2-game set between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. Aaron Hicks will be followed by Miguel Andujar.
This is a curveball. Basically, the curveball is the 3rd best pitch for Estrada. It's fastball, changeup. And over the years of watching him, all these years he's been with the Blue Jays, changeup is down, the fastball is up. Most pitchers pitch corner to corner. He kind of pitches up and down. Also, he'll go to the corners as well. But the changeup, to be effective, you got to make it look good. Get it over the middle of the plate. The hitter thinks it's going to be a fastball. He swings at it. He's out in front, doesn't get it.
Here's the 3-1 from Estrada. And that shattered the bat of Aaron Hicks, as he was out in front on that 3-1 pitch.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, you go in there against Estrada and you get ahead on a count like Hicks just was, and sometimes you say there's the changeup grip, off-speed pitch. That's not a good circle, but you get the idea. See, he's way out in front. Every once in a while, a pitcher had a good changeup, and I'd get ahead on a count 3-1, and I'm thinking, well, he's going to throw that changeup. I'm just going to sit, wait back on my back foot. If it's fastball, I'm going to take it for a strike and make him think about what I'm looking for.
Hicks grounds that hard, but right back to the mound. Estrada will throw him out. 2 down.
Hicks is looking back at the video board. See the replay. Yeah, he hit pretty well. But Estrada made the play.
Here's Miguel Andujar. Couple of doubles in the nightcap last night. He takes strike 1. Andujar 2nd in rookie batting average, 4th in slugging, 5th in homers, 6th in ribbies, 1st in extra base hit. You see, he's 2nd in all of baseball in doubles. And when you talk about the most doubles through 53 career games in Yankees history, only Joe DiMaggio has more than Miguel Andujar.
Remember, Andujar didn't start the year in the big leagues.
Right. Andujar reaches out, flicks that into left field, and that is going to dunk in for a base hit. Now the roof is closed. Why? Well, we got to check out the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. It's only 57 degrees, 64% humidity, a little bit of wind, and the wind's gusting to 24 miles an hour. So, yeah, that'll close the roof.
When we came here earlier today, the roof was open, and I was hoping they were going to close the roof. Is that chilly up here?
It was chilly, yeah. Swing and a miss from Austin. Well, we saw the fan walking into the stadium in a turtleneck. It's felt like fall weather here in Toronto. One and one on Tyler Austin.
You know, Estrada is well aware that Austin has worn him out in the early going here. 3 of the 8 home runs that Austin has hit have come off Estrada this year. So at this point, he doesn't have to make much of a mistake for Austin to put a charge into one.
Careful with him there, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, a little slider down and away. Austin does a good job of waiting on pitches. That's why he has good power to the opposite field in right center.
Waited on that. A little bit late, fouled it back.
Yeah, that was a fastball, 89 miles an hour. That's about tops for Estrada. See the 2-seamer. Little spin. Little late. Quick, compact swing.
The 2-2. Check swing. And Austin held up. Count is full. Third full count from Estrada.
You know, a sidebar here to this game, something very interesting. It doesn't happen very often in Major League Baseball. This is the same umpiring crew that the Yankees had in Detroit. That doesn't happen very often, that move on to another city and get the same umpires.
Bill Miller behind the plate. Andujar goes on the 3-2 delivery with 2 outs, and Austin is K'd via changeup. So the Yankees put on a 2-out base runner, but Estrada able to fan Austin. No scores. We go to the bottom of the second. Camry Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. At Yes Network, we've asked on Twitter, do you think Toronto will be able to turn its season around and fight for a playoff spot this year? Mike B923 responded possibly, but it's going to be really tough with the two best teams in baseball in the same division as them. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yankees Camry Hybrid to keep the conversation going.
Well, Mike B, I talked to John Gibbons, Blue Jays manager. And before the game, he said, we're not playing very good baseball. He's always straight up. The Blue Jays back on April the 20th were 13-6.
Little looper, foul ground off of first. Bird awkwardly makes the catch as he slides into the stands for the first out of the inning.
It was either slide or flip over the wall there. Look at Bird slide, get underneath the ball, make the catch. Good thing there's padding there. You know, when he went in there with the ankles, I was kind of worried, but he gets up. It seems like he's okay. He makes a tremendous sliding catch. I was saying on April 20th, the Blue Jays were 13-6. Since then, they are 13-27.
Sabathia brushes Russell Martin off, who smiles back at him a little bit. Former teammates.
And to show you how things turned around for the Yankees on that same date, April 20th, they were 9-9, and since then they're 29-9.
Yeah. Seasons have gone in opposite directions for these two teams. Blue Jays did snap a 5-game losing streak on Sunday with a win in Detroit as they salvaged the final game of that 3-game series. 2-1 on Martin.
Now, the Blue Jays have had some injuries. Some players have been out. Grichuk, as you mentioned, just came back. Marcus Stroman, supposed to be their #1 pitcher. He's had shoulder problems going back to spring training. He's on the DL. Josh Donaldson, former MVP, he's on the disabled list. We had mentioned that.
There you have Steve Pearce, Tulowitzki, Donaldson, Stroman, all on the DL.
And yeah, Osuna, their closer.
Yep.
You don't know when he's coming back. He's
strike 3, Martin down looking as Sabathia retires him.
Osuna's been charged with sexual assault, so they still know he hasn't gone to trial yet.
He's facing charges and on MLB administrative leave.
Good pitch by Sabathia.
Grounded to short. Gregorius across the diamond in time. Wow. To nail Pilar. Beautiful play by Didi Gregorius as Sabathia works a 1-2-3 second. Plenty of arm strength from the Yankee shortstop. is on AFN, the American Forces Network, broadcasting to American military personnel overseas in more than 170 countries and naval ships at sea. Welcome to those watching tonight, and a sincere thank you to all of you for your service.
Yes, most definitely.
Nine, 1, and 2 up for the Yankees. Gleyber Torres, Brett Gardner, and Giancarlo Stanton. Torres out in front of that changeup. Kenny, you talked about if you got in a 3-1 count, you would hunt changeup sometimes against a guy. Would you ever go up early in an at-bat looking for it against a pitcher like Estrada?
Well, I'd want to get ahead on the count. So even if he did get a strike on me, it wasn't going to end the at-bat. But you'll notice, you saw the pitch to Tyler Austin that struck him out. It was a changeup. It's in the middle of the plate. The whole idea is the presentation. You make it look really good.
And that one, Torres waves at and misses. He is down on strikes.
You can get some funky swings against changeups. There's that grip once again. And this one's going to fade out of the strike zone, and way out in front is Gleyber Torres. And I think I've mentioned this before. If you got young pitchers or somebody wants to be a pitcher, start with a fastball command, and then the second pitch you should learn is a changeup. You know, all youngsters, I want to make the ball curve. Not necessarily. You want to throw the hitter's timing off.
Estrada throwing his changeup more than ever this season, nearly 37% of the time. Although opponents have hit it at a higher clip this year than he's normally accustomed to.
Yeah, well, sometimes that happens when your fastball and changeup get too close in speed. I would imagine a few years back he could throw in the low 90s.
Gardner slaps that left side, diving stop Solarte, and the nifty throw across to nail Gardner for the second out.
He took an extra base hit away from Gardner. Yeah. You can see there's some room over there, but he couldn't quite get it by Solarte, who shows a strong arm from his knee. Throws out to Speedy Gardner. Now there's the catch, but now the recovery and then the throw. Got him by a couple of steps. Good play.
And here's Giancarlo Stanton. Missed a home run by inches his first at bat. That's on the inside corner for strike one. A double off the tippy top of the wall in right. Stan has talked about how, hey, it's fine to have a good game here or there. I need to have good weeks, good months. Trying to build some momentum from that game in Baltimore as he takes strike two. A long home run last night from Stanton. A revenge shot off Mike Fiers, and then the double in his first at bat tonight.
It's interesting to watch how the league has tried to work on Giancarlo. A lot of pitchers try and go for that high fastball up in the zone, think that he can't get on top of it.
Swing and a miss. Another changeup from Estrada as Stanton goes down on strikes. A 1-2-3 inning with 2 Ks for Marco Estrada. Old-Timers Day presented by Old Navy. Come see your favorite Yankees legends put on the pinstripes again. And take the field to Yankee Stadium. Be sure to arrive early for Old-Timers Day festivities with the Yankees game against the Rays to follow. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com. Always a fun day at Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the third inning here in Toronto. No score between the Yankees and Blue Jays. First game of a quick two-game set.
Old-Timers Day, a chance for the youngsters who see some of the players that their grandparents or mom and dad been talking about.
And some new Yankee youngsters to enjoy the festivities
in the regular game.
That's right. Like Gleyber Torres and Andujar. First time return for Jason Giambi to play in the Old-Timers game. Nick Swisher, Andy Pettit as well. Popped up. Shallow right. Long run Stanton. He gets there. One out.
Tell you, both pitchers are featuring very good changeups tonight. And it shows you sometimes it can be less about power. I know we got a lot of strikeouts in this day and age because a lot of pitchers are throwing 95, 96, upwards of 100. But it's about pitching. Location, change of speeds, keeping the hitters off balance. That's what both of these pitchers are doing tonight. CC at one time was one of the best powered pitchers in the game, but he's made the adjustment. Doesn't have the power anymore. Just keep everybody off balance.
That's where he gets that consistent weak contact that you were talking about earlier, Ken, and we've seen a lot so far tonight. (0-2) on Travis.
And Travis started the year with the Blue Jays. Didn't get off to a good start. They optioned him to AAA Buffalo, just down the road or just across the border. His last 8 games in Buffalo, he had an 8-game hitting streak. The Blue Jays said, that's enough. Come on back.
And he's hit better since returning. Said he got a really helpful reminder that your worst day in the majors is still better than your best day in the minors. And so that's allowing him to enjoy this experience a little more, even if he struggles. He punches that in the air to right. Stanton there. 2 outs.
That's a nice way of putting it.
I was talking with CC Sabathia and Brett Gardner earlier this year about their minor league experiences. And they were recalling different stories and being on the buses. And Brett was like, yeah, you know, I think sometimes, yeah, it would be fun to do another one of those bus rides. And he starts telling the story. He's like, oh, man, I would never want to be on another one of those bus rides.
Yeah. Well, most players go through it. And whenever I go down to spring training, my first league was the Florida State League. And a lot of those cities in Florida were in the league. A lot of rain, a lot of humidity. But when you're 19 years old, you want to play ball.
What's the longest bus ride you had in the minors, Ken?
Ooh, probably in the California League somewhere. Somewhere maybe to Reno from Visalia, you know, California.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
about how long?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. They fly in the big leagues, you know.
That's right.
Well, they take the train on the East Coast.
Yeah, every now and again. Little Amtrak.
I've heard the toughest league for bus rides is the Southern League. Long bus rides.
Yeah.
And that was the league that Michael Jordan played in when he was in the White Sox organization. And Michael Jordan went out and bought the team a new bus. Remember that? he went out and bought a new. He said, we're going to go on these long rides. We're going in style.
Every minor leaguer loved having MJ as a teammate.
Well, not many do. He was playing. Terry Francona was his manager.
Birmingham.
Yeah.
Grounded to short. Gregorius picks the hop, fires across. Inning over. Sabathia has retired 8 straight Blue Jays. No score after 3. In 1992, Ken Singleton's man, Eddie Murray, passed Mickey Mantle for the most RBI by a switch hitter. Who held the record before Mantle? Answer coming up, bottom of the inning. How you feel about that one?
There's a few that could fill the bill.
Bird behind 0-2, another good changeup from Estrada. Both pitchers very sharp early in this game.
Yeah, Estrada does a very good job of selling the changeup. He throws it exactly the same way he throws his fastball. See, that causes you to be late on a fastball.
Audi scoreboard, no score.
I call it the rocking chair effect. You're either way out in front or you're a little behind.
Bird drives that to right field. Grichuk on the run, will not get there. That hops over the wall. A ground rule double for Greg Bird to lead off the 4th.
And now a 7-game hitting streak and yet another extra base hit. Oh, he waits back on a changeup nicely and then delivers. He wasn't going to get him 3 times on a changeup and 1 at bat.
He found the right spot in the rocking chair.
Yeah.
And so Bird on second with nobody out, and now Sanchez up. And Russell Martin and Marco Estrada will get on the same page. I was talking with Aaron Boone before the game about Greg Bird and what has stood out most to him about Bird's at bats. And he said he feels like every at bat has been competitive. When he's gotten pitches to hit, he's just seen such good swings, which he didn't feel like he totally saw in spring training. And he said, not to take us too far in the weeds, but just I love how grounded he is with his legs and his footing, and he just seems like he's in great position to impact the baseball.
You know, it's interesting you mentioned footing as contributing to your hitting.
Right.
You have to have your legs underneath you. And it was interesting in this regard because during a spring training game, I was working with Flash, John Flaherty, and he mentioned something was off with Bird. And it was this, he says, front foot, he's not really putting it down, and he was having problems with it. And like within days, he was going to see a specialist about his ankle. And you could see he was very gingerly putting his front foot down as he was going to hit. And Flash picked it up, and now he has no such problems. I saw him first time I saw him since coming back, and he says, I'm good to go now.
Yeah.
He says, I've got 6 scars, 4 on my ankles and 2 on my shoulder.
And you could just tell there's just a different power and positioning at the plate, which he's taking advantage of.
It's balance at the plate. Good stop by Russell Martin, who's over the years has been one of the better receivers. Change up in the dirt.
Martin showing some defensive versatility this year for them too.
Yeah, they've been throwing him out there. Hey, where you want to play today?
4 games at third. He's played short. He's played second.
Didn't he play left field? I think he was out in the outfield one game.
I think you're right. Sanchez takes strike 3 for the first out of the inning.
This is a little different. This looks like a breaking ball. It wasn't really a good one, but it dropped in the zone. That's Bill Miller with the emphatic call.
Gary now 2 for his last 34. Here's Gregorius. 346 his last 6 games. Didi loops that into shallow center field. Pilar on the run makes the catch for this second out.
Well, Pilar, one of the better defensive center fielders in the game, shows off his speed here. Gets a bead on it. Knows he has to come on quickly, slides underneath it and makes the catch. We've seen him leave his feet many a time here at Rogers Center, and kicking up that rubber that's embedded in the turf like a rooster tail.
Here's Aaron Hicks. Ground out in his first at bat. After the leadoff double from Bird, it's left to Hicks to try and salvage the inning.
Hicks has had a pretty good trip. 6 hits on the trip, 14 at bats.
I was talking with Marcus Timms about Hicks yesterday, who's now not only had a good trip, but an extended period of time where he's been more productive offensively. He said he never really chases too much, even when he's struggling. The key for him is just staying locked into the center of the field, not trying to pull things. That's when he struggles at the plate. He's never going to chase too much. It's just he can get a little pull happy.
He had a good swing at that changeup, and when you throw a lot of changeups, you got to be able to read the bat as a pitcher. Let's see if Estrada makes any changes here, and it won't come with another one. That swing by Hicks kind of told me he was looking for a changeup there. Just didn't hit it. Had a good swing at it.
Estrada ahead 1-2 with Bird leading off second. Cued back to the mound. Estrada fields, tosses, and ends the inning. So the leadoff double wasted as Estrada holds the Yankees off the board. No score through 3.5. 1992, Eddie Murray passed Mickey Mantle for the most RBI by a switch hitter who held the record before Mantle. You got a guess, Kenny?
It's either Ken Williams or Frankie Frisch.
All right, let's see. Oh, Frankie Frisch.
The Fordham Flash.
You got it, the Fordham Flash. You know I wasn't going to miss an opportunity to throw out that nickname. Nor would Michael have if he was here. Very good. Kenny, you're on a little bit of a hot streak with these questions.
Well, you got to think the switch hitters. And before, switch hitters were primarily speed type of guys.
And Andujar backs up, tosses across, offline, but in time for the out. On the outie scoreboard, no score. Let's take a look. All-time RBI list for switch hitters. Eddie Murray tops on that list by far. Ken, you are one of just a few in this game's history with 1,000 ribbies as a switch hitter. Mickey Mantle now fourth on that list with Beltran third, Chipper Jones second.
Tell you what, Ted Simmons was a heck of a hitter. He was a catcher. Simba, that was his nickname.
Switch hitting catcher is certainly valuable. Yankees first round pick last night, a switch hitting catcher.
And he's from Georgia, so growing up, he watched Chipper Jones hit all the time. He was the guy that he tried to kind of model his game off of offensively. As far as catching and the defensive part of it, Yadier Molina, a guy that he watches a lot, and Grandal out in L.A. with the Dodgers, two guys that he looks up to. Now, he was also asked about Ohtani, because as we know, he's not only a switch hitter, he can catch and he's pitched before as well. And he said that is just a rare breed. He's a true two-way player. He can't see himself getting to the majors and being able to do both right now. He views himself, and the Yankees view him simply as a catcher, but pretty cool that he has some other talents. And there was once a time in high school where he played 6 different positions, and he thinks he might have been able to play all 9. However, there was a run rule, and his team won, so they had to stop the game.
It got in the way of all the fun. That's great info on Anthony Siegler, the Yankees' first-round pick, 23rd overall.
By the way, that's Hall of Famer Chipper Jones.
Yeah, that's right. It was just second on the all-time switch hitting RBI list, as that is just off the outside corner, ball 4. As smoke reaches, we'll take a look at some highlights of Siegler. Cracking from both sides of the plate.
Wow.
And then pitching from both sides of the mound.
I'll tell you what, you hit well from both sides, you get to play every day.
That's right. You know all about it. Yankees' second pick was Josh Bro, also a catcher, and the Twittersphere was having a lot of fun with Nick Swisher being the one who announced the second pick. He's such a bro, and he got to say the last name Bro when he called Josh's name. Line drive in his center field. Hicks over to it, 2 down.
Hicks got an excellent jump on that ball, filled the gap in left center. Well, that first step for an outfielder on a ball that's hit pretty well is the most important. Got to get going in the right direction right away, and here he goes. Hicks, of course, has the speed, has the arm. He was thinking about trying to double smoke up at first.
Here is Kevin Pillar, popped out to first, his first time up.
Pillar got off to a pretty good start this year. He's among the league leaders in 2 base hits, but he's 5 for his last 52.
It's the lowest batting average in Major League Baseball since May 18th. .92 miles an hour from Sabathia. Popped up. Torres out. Under. Inning over. And Sabathia works around the one-out walk. No score through 4 in Toronto. Standings, the Yankees, although they're 1 game ahead in the loss column, they're 1 game behind the Red Sox in the AL East. Andujar takes a mean rip, fouls it back. On the GMC scoreboard, both pitchers locked in, no score. The Yankees have had a couple of runners in scoring position. Stanton had a 1-out double in the first. Bird led off with a double in the fourth. The Yankees unable to bring him in as Andujar flies it into left center. Pilar makes the catch, 1 out. Here's Tyler Austin, who struck out his first time up.
When the Yankees leave Toronto after an off day on Thursday, their road trip kind of continues. They play the Mets over at Citi Field, and in preparation for that, the Yankees had pitchers out on the field today running the bases. There's Herman and Severino and Masahiro Tanaka. I guess those are the scheduled pitchers over at Citi Field against the Mets, and they were all running the bases. First, they had them run from home to first. Then I think it was from first to third, but trying to get them acclimated to being on base, which American League pitchers do not do very often. So that's trying to cover, well, in a way, cover all bases before they get to Citi Field.
You tricky man. I see what you did there. We saw how much fun the Yankees had, especially David Robertson, watching Masahiro Tanaka swing in Washington during the Yankees' suspended game against the Nationals.
I think Tanaka's only hit in the major leagues came at Citi Field. I don't know if he might have more than one, but I think his first hit came at Citi Field.
I'm pretty sure you're right. And we saw Robertson having a lot of fun with Tanaka in that moment, Meredith.
He certainly was. He was asked about that, and he said, I want to be clear. I'm not saying I can do any better in the batter's box, but it was funny to watch Tanaka attempt to swing. And then he was going through it, what he thought he might have done, how he maybe would have been able to make contact. And then he just kind of turned and said, yeah, there's no way. I wouldn't have made contact either. And he actually hasn't hit, he said, probably since high school. So it's been quite some time for David Robertson.
Up the middle, well played and positioned, but Austin will beat it out as Smoke can't scoop it up. Travis's throw low, and Austin reaches with one out.
Yeah, I think this should be a base hit. The degree of difficulty of the play, throwing on the run across your body. Smoke with a good effort, but the ball breaks off his glove. I'd want to have a hit just because it was a tough play. But sometimes they think, well, you're a big leaguer, you should make that play.
It is a hit.
Yeah, all right. Boston's happy.
Snapped an 0 for 20 with a single late in last night's game, and now the Yankees' 4th hit so far tonight.
You know what I would tell all the pitchers who are going to hit? If Bartolo Colon can hit a home run, you should be able to hit one too.
You should be able to hit one too, that's it.
Yeah.
Colon, he's got some deceiving flexibility up there. He was famous for his clubhouse stretching routine he would do. But there probably was nothing more improbable over the last few years in baseball than Colon going young.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if they put an orange seat or something up there in the San Diego Petco Park.
That's on the inside corner, 1-2. Torres struck out his first at bat, leaping at a changeup.
Neither pitcher has had more than one man on base in any inning. Both been very effective.
Sabathia has allowed just one hit, a single, with one out in first. Estrada has allowed a couple of doubles and a couple of singles. The 1-2. High. Kenny told you in the scouting report Estrada had really been struggling. His last 4 starts, 0-4 with a 6.53 ERA.
All right, he just threw a high fastball. Let's see if he comes back with a changeup that's fading down low. Maybe target's low and away. Let's see what happens here. No, went upstairs again with a fastball.
And now the count is full. Austin going, the 3-2, cut on and missed, throw down. In time, a strike him out, throw him out, double play as Tyler Austin is gunned down by Russell Martin. So with the count full, Yankees took a chance on some contact from Torres. He didn't deliver, and Austin thrown out at second. No scores. We head to the bottom of the 5th.
T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Bottom of the 5th inning in Toronto. No score between the Yankees and the Blue Jays. First game of a 2-game set. Ryan Rucco, Ken Singleton, Meredith Morakovitz with you. Our entire Yes Network crew. Thanks you for hanging out with us on a Tuesday night. GMC scoreboard. 4 hits for the Yankees, 1 for the Blue Jays. No runs across. Sabathia has been very sharp. He'll face 6, 7, and 8. And strike 1 to Russell Martin.
Sabathia creating that scissor effect. The cutter in, then change-ups away. One ball comes into the right-handed hitters, and the other just fades away. Seen a lot of pop-ups off the end of the bat to the right side of the field.
Third start of the year that CC has made against the Blue Jays. He's allowed 1 earned run through 13 1/3 innings thus far this year against Toronto. Right to Andujar, 1 down. Now, Kenny, I understand you have gotten some geographical clarification on the distance of your longest minor league bus ride.
Yeah, well, first of all, to remember that was a long time ago. It's 339 miles from Visalia, California to Reno, Nevada.
That's long.
5 hours and 16 minutes by bus. Good thing I was a young man.
Did you have AC on the bus?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I mean, there was AC back in those days.
Well, no iPods, though.
I know. You had to read a book.
Yeah. One and 2 on Grichuk.
CC expanding his zone and Grichuk a bit.
See the defensive alignment with Torres literally right behind second base up the middle. Now Torres takes 1 step towards the right side of second. The 1-2. Missed off the outside corner. 2 and 2.
We mentioned that Kendrys Morales earlier this year had an 0 for 29. Grichuk had an 0 for 26. That'll certainly put a crimp in your batting average.
Yeah, Grichuk was really struggling before he went down with a knee injury. Weak half hack there as Sabathia ties up Grichuk. 2 down.
Nice sequence of pitches. The pitch before was just off the outside corner. Here comes that cutter. In on the hands. Might have been upstairs and out of the strike zone. Grichuk sees it. Tries to hold up. Goes around too far. I mean, if he had hit it, it probably would have jammed him.
Here's Aledmys Diaz. Flew out to right his first time up. Diaz went from being DFA'd to being Rookie of the Year in St. Louis to then being traded. And now getting time at shortstop with Tulowitzki out as he pokes that right into the glove of Torres to end the inning. Another 1-2-3 frame for Sabathia, who is through 5 scoreless. No score in Toronto as we head to the 6th. 18. RBI Baseball 18 delivers an all-new franchise mode and much more. RBI Baseball 18 is available now. Learn more at rbigame.com. Rated E for everyone. Both pitchers dealing here in Toronto. No score through 5 innings. Top of the Yankee order as Gardner takes strike 1. Be Gardner, Stanton, and Bird. Remember, should the circumstance arise, Aaron Judge is lurking on the Yankees bench in this game.
You know, it's interesting that Judge has good numbers against Marco Estrada. I think he's 8 for 20. I think you told me that before the game. But Aaron Boone decided to give him a day off, and you know, after striking out 8 times in a doubleheader, maybe you do need a day off. It's more of a mental thing than a physical one, and plus, Estrada can be difficult to break out of a slump against with a great changeup. You know, I like to call pitchers like this Mr. Tricks. You know, you got a lot of tricks out there on the mound.
Judge set a major league record with those 8 Ks during yesterday's doubleheader.
And he had appeared in every game, so maybe it's about time. Aaron Boone.
Well, that's part of it. Aaron Boone was very specific about the fact it had nothing to do with the 8 strikeout game yesterday. He said that Judge will be just fine. He's unflappable, not worried about him bouncing back from that. It was more about the fact that he has played in every game, even though he hasn't started every game. He's at least come off of the bench. And he said this is something he spoke with Judge about last week already, trying to get him, as well as other guys, a day here and there to give them a little bit of a break.
And unflappable is the perfect word to describe Judge's mentality. And one of the things you love is the accountability too. Yesterday when he was asked about having a tough day, he said it wasn't tough, it was terrible, and he takes ownership of it as Gardner taps to stay alive. But then immediately after that, Judge turned to, but that's what you love about baseball. You put it behind you, and nothing about the past affects what you can do about the future as long as you have your mind right. And that's kind of the mentality that Judge has always taken.
It's like you hit 8 home runs one day, you still got to play the next day.
Right. And he just has the perfect mentality to play in this market as well. As Gardner fouls it straight back.
That changeup is consistently sat at 78 miles an hour.
Gardner with a tough battle here.
Well, it's hard to stay back.
This will be the 9th pitch of the at-bat upcoming as Gardner tries to battle his way on against Estrada. Gardner lines that into left field. It will get down just in front of Hernandez as Gardner wins the battle and earns himself a leadoff single.
It looked to me like he got a fastball and slashed it into left field for the base after fouling off. Yeah, that's a fastball grip. After fouling off a few changeups, keeping the bat going, fastball moving away, and he hits it the other way. So the Yankees have speed on the bases trying to break through. Second time in this game they've had a leadoff man on.
First pitch in the dirt to Giancarlo Stanton. Stanton narrowly missed a home run his first time off the tippy top of the wall in right field. A double. Struck out in the 3rd. Gardner dives back.
Now Russell Martin still throws pretty well, but if you're going to feature a lot of changeups, that gives Gardner even maybe a split second more to get down to second base. At this point in the game, 90 feet's important.
And now Estrada behind Stanton 2-0. Is this one of those spots you'd consider sitting change?
Yeah, I would. Take a fastball for a strike if you have to. But then you got to change your plan from pitch to pitch.
See the lead from Gardner. Gardner going, the 2-0 is taken, and Gardner steals it easily as he is in there at second on ball 3 to Stanton.
Gardner is yet to be caught stealing this year. That's number 7. There's Travis with the tag, but it's too late. Straddling the bag is the second baseman. Oh, they're checking it to see if they got him.
The Blue Jays are holding things up a second just to see if they want to maybe review this.
From that angle, it's tough to tell. Is there enough to overturn it?
And they're going to take a look.
Ooh,
wow.
If there's contact there, he's out.
I don't think there's contact there, though. You know, to the naked eye, it looked like he was in there easily. But as we can tell, this was tight.
Russell Martin with a good throw. This might take a while.
The question is, how high up on the body was the tag actually made, as Gardner is out?
Yes, he is. Caught stealing for the first time.
So Brett Gardner caught stealing, and obviously the entire inning changes now. As instead of a runner on second and nobody out, 1 out, nobody on for Stanton. Stanton swinging 3-0, hits a towering fly ball to right. Grichuk under it, 2 down. That was a really quick review for a play that appeared to be very close at second base. Bird cuts and misses and loses a little piece of equipment. Oh, 2 on Bird. Bird doubled to lead off the 4th his last time up, and then was stranded. Takes a changeup away, 1-2. Double barrel action in the Toronto bullpen. Bird just able to nick that foul.
Just when you think you've waited enough, you really haven't.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Bird down on strikes, and after Gardner caught stealing, Stanton and Bird go down, and the Yankees still held scoreless. checking without curveballs. Member FDIC. And by Nissan. Nissan. Get the technology of tomorrow today at Nissan Now. Shop. Choose Nissan.com. Bottom of the 6th inning. No score. Yankees and Blue Jays. CC Sabathia has been outstanding tonight. He's allowed just 1 single, 1 walk through 5 innings. Marco Estrada has been very impressive himself. 6 shutout innings. 9-1-2 for the Blue Jays. Travis Hernandez and Solarte. CC tying up Travis inside.
Boy, that was a weak hack. Throw another one down in there.
Another weak hack. Went around, strike 3. Travis is retired. Three strikeouts now for Sabathia. Teoscar Hernandez takes a good hack, fouls it back. There was some doubt as to whether or not Hernandez would be able to play in this game, dealing with a left foot contusion. Just misses up, 1-1. Hit in the air, deep down the left field line. That ball is gone. Just over the wall and just inside the foul pole. Teoscar Hernandez gives the Blue Jays a 1-0 lead.
I had the feeling the way this game was going, maybe one swing of the bat could make the difference. And it looked like he tried to get the cutter in, but didn't quite get it far in enough. And Hernandez was able to hit it down the line. 328 down the left field line here.
Fly ball, center field, Hicks. 2 out.
There's the target low and in. This one doesn't quite get there. It's in, but it's up about belt high. It wasn't down and in. Now it's out. 1-0.
Just disappearing over the wall down the left field line.
Another look. Gardner going to run out of room about right here.
See, even the crowd didn't have the reaction of an expectation of a home run.
Well, it looked like it was just going to be a high fly ball into the corner, but the closer you get to the corner, the shorter it is to the wall.
Last night, Yankees lost 4-2 in the second game of the doubleheader to the Tigers. Just the second time this year they had lost when allowing 4 or fewer runs this season. By far the best in the bigs.
Watch CC's reaction here. Give me another one.
Pitch count in outstanding shape for Sabathia, just 70 pitches. 1-2. And smoke went around. Strike 3. That will end the inning, but not before Teoscar Hernandez cracks the scoreboard for Toronto. 1-0 Blue Jays. Better performance. Here was the home run from Hernandez. Now, the exit velocity 104, the distance 344, but the key number, Ken, that 45-degree launch angle, the second highest launch angle in baseball on a home run this season.
Was a high towering fly ball.
Just scraped the wall to get over it. As we take a look at the Cadillac scoreboard, 1-2-0 for the Blue Jays, 0-5-0 for the Yankees. Yankees were threatening in the 6th after a gritty 9-pitch at bat and single from Brett Gardner. As you see, throwing in the Blue Jays pen. Gardner appeared safe at second on a stolen base attempt, but after review was called out, and that changed the inning. As Stanton, who had been ahead of the count 3-0, then flew out to right. And finally, Bird struck out to end the 6th. It'll be Sanchez, Gregorius, and Hicks. 4, 5, and 6 for the Yankees. Sanchez just stays alive on that change.
Like I said, you get some funny swings on some off-speed pitches. Well, Sanchez's average is dropped under the 200 mark.
Just took that high, 2-2. Sanchez 2 for his last 34. Smashes that to center field, a base hit.
1 for 1. Stays back. See this on Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. Right back through the middle. Head down, follow through. Man on base. Wow.
That is going to do it for Marco Estrada. After a really rough May, an outstanding start here to kick off June, as Estrada has pitched into the 7th without allowing a run thus far. He is responsible for Sanchez, and his evening is done. Yankees with 1 on, nobody out, trailing by 1 in the 7th. Spend an off day in Scranton. Plus, check out where top prospect Justice Sheffield calls home. That's tonight after the postgame, only on Yes. The night is done for Marco Estrada. He pitches into the 7th inning, scatters 6 hits. Responsible for Gary Sanchez on first as we take a look at the night for Estrada.
Yeah, he had a pretty good night. He pitched very well. That was a little slider, maybe a change-up right there. Change-up type pitcher. Breaking ball drops in on Gary Sanchez. 6 strikeouts along the way. 6 hits and no runs. Didn't walk anybody.
So Sungwon 0 into the game, facing Gregorius, strike 1. A little less than a hit per inning. Has allowed 3 home runs in his 26 innings of work. Spent his first 2 years with the Cardinals. This is first with the Blue Jays. Gregorius shows bunt and then takes the pitch on the foot. And Didi Gregorius, hit by the pitch, will take first as they appeal to third to make sure he did not attempt to bunt. Gregorius is cleared of that by Angel Hernandez, and now the Yankees will check on their shortstop.
Well, Bill Miller appealed to the third base umpire Angel Hernandez for help. That's a tough pitch for an umpire to see. Ball's going to Didi pulls the bat back. That's one thing that Bill Miller checked with Angel Hernandez. He said he pulled the bat back. He didn't make an attempt to bunt it, and then the ball's going to hit him in the foot. So Didi walking gingerly down the first baseline. Trying to get some feeling back into that left foot.
That was a direct hit right on the foot. As Gregorius tries to high step his way to a better feeling. He is okay. Will stay in the game.
And he represents the go-ahead run. Now Solarte is in at third base. And the same for Smoke at first. So they're expecting a bunt here from Aaron Hicks, who is a decent bunter. We'll see how the Yankees play it here in the top of the 7th inning.
Hicks has 1 sack bunt this season. He had 1 last season. He is swinging and takes strike 1. Last two nights, the Yankees have struggled in these spots. 0 for 10 last night with runners in scoring position. 0 for 5 so far tonight. One and one on Hicks.
Let's see what Smoke does down at first base. He's still going to stay up. That might be good for Hicks. He hit something pretty hard to the right side. Might be able to get it by him. Now he's dropping back. You think they can hear us?
It's a new system that's been installed here. The 1-1 outside, and it's 2-1 on Aaron Hicks. Miguel Andujar on deck. Tyler Austin to follow him. And remember, Aaron Judge is on the bench. The Yankees choose to deploy him at some point. 2-1. Way outside, and it's 3-1 as O, who was having a little trouble with his control warming up on the mound, hit Gregorius and now is behind Hicks 3-1. Here's the 3-1. That is a called strike just on the outside corner at the bottom of the zone, and the count is full.
Yeah, it did have the corner. Russell Martin might have helped it back into the zone a little bit. Yeah, we get a better look here. Ooh. Bottom of the zone.
Here's the payoff. Outside, ball 4. Excellent eye from Hicks, and the bases are loaded with nobody out for Miguel Andujar.
So O has come in, hit a batter, and walked a batter. It's going to be hard for him to walk Andujar.
Andujar singled in the second. He is over 300 now on the season. He has been red hot. And he drives that deep to left field. It is long gone. Grand slam, Miguel Andujar. And the Yankees take a 4-1 lead.
Well, I told you it'd be hard to walk him. And one thing I've always said this, and I know Yankee fans over the years have heard me say, I always liked it when the hitter in front of me drew a walk. The pitcher is trying to get back within the strike zone, and O has not done the job. Hit a batter, walked a batter, and now giving up a grand slam home run.
First career grand slam for Miguel Andujar. And he is mobbed by his teammates as he's given the Yankees a 4-1 lead.
He knew it. Kind of gave it the salute with his bat. This is the most you can score on one swing. See, all that defensive work paid off before the game.
That's right. Hard to believe he didn't start the year with the team.
Trying to get him more experience. And who's to say that that didn't work? Right down the middle. You know, his reaction is good, but Russell Martin behind the plate knew exactly what happened when that ball was hit.
The 0-2 is high to Austin. Last 18 games, Andujar has been doing serious damage.
13 extra base hits.
Austin down looking, 1 out. Well, and Kenny, for Andujar, as we take a look at strike 3 on Austin.
Inside corner, got him.
He entered this game Andujar, that is, with the 3rd most extra base hits through first 53 career games in Yankees history. Only Joe DiMaggio and Gary Sanchez had more. Here's the StatCast numbers.
102.1, 426, second decker.
Launched it.
Right man at the right time.
And he bats 7th. And sometimes 8th.
Sometimes 8th.
What you love about Andujar and the guy at the plate, Gleyber Torres, they really don't get overwhelmed.
They're both hitting over 300.
And we see them in big moments constantly come through. If you think about the win against Houston in extra innings with 2 outs and nobody on, it was a double from Andujar and then a single from Torres that won it.
You think about the scouts who first saw these young guys.
Mm-hmm. You know? I'm sure Marco Estrada is thinking about being pulled from this game after this single by Sanchez. Count now full on Gleyber Torres.
I wonder if Herman is saying, you know, I'm going to be hitting in a few days. Can you give him some pointers?
Popped up. Foul ground. Martin runs out of room. Good battle here from Gleyber Torres. Torres drives that in the air to left. Hernandez under it. 2 down. Now a quick word from Spectrum.
Spectrum Internet. No data caps, no contracts. Just faster speeds with better performance.
So Sungwon Oh comes on in relief of Marco Estrada after a single to lead off the inning from Sanchez, trying to break out of a 2 for 34. Oh hit Gregorius, walked Hicks, and then served up a grand slam to Andujar. Meanwhile, Sabathia has been dealing and his pitch count in excellent shape. Also, despite the doubleheader yesterday, the Yankees bullpen in outstanding shape as far as availability goes, thanks to the length that Severino and Herman gave the Yankees yesterday. But Sabathia clearly going to be back out there in the bottom of the 7th.
Now, O is from South Korea. And O is a famous name in Japan, although Sadaharu O was also from Korea and played in Japan.
Gardner fights that off. Left side. Solarte under it in foul ground. Puts it away to end the inning. But not before Miguel Andujar delivers. A missile soaring into the second deck and left. and giving the Yankees a 4-1 lead. Nissan dealer. Sabathia and Estrada both dealing. Miguel Andujar's grand slam in the top of the 7th, the difference in this game right now. As Sabathia back to work, facing 4, 5, and 6 in the Blue Jays order. Kendrys Morales, Kevin Pillar, and Russell Martin. Talked about how good Sabathia has been over the last 2 seasons. As you see the Cadillac scoreboard, 4-1 Yankees. Following a Yankees loss, including the playoffs last year, 10-1 with a 2.59 ERA over the last 2 seasons.
He also mentioned how good in his career he's been in the month of June. 42-17.
There are those numbers that include the playoffs following a Yankees loss. That catches the outside corner, at least according to Bill Miller. 2-2.
Sabathia's been excellent. CC, corner to corner.
Strike 3. Sabathia got him for the first out of the inning as we send it back to the studio to Chris Shear. Thank you, Chris. That's turned into a fun race in the West with the way the Mariners are playing, challenging the Astros.
They're trying to win their 5th in a row.
Without Robinson Cano. Pillar 0 for 2 has popped down the infield twice. He has 5 for his last 53. That is driven in the air to left field and deep. Gardner back, looking up, and it's gone. Pillar goes deep, and it's a 4-2 game. As David Robertson throws in the Yankee pen.
It's been a while since Pillar last hit a home run. The last one was April 29th. It's been over a month since he hit a homer. But he gets into this one. Target's in. You can see Sanchez inside, but that one didn't even make it in. It was in the middle and up. That might have been the worst pitch that CC threw tonight.
Little bit down to Martin, ball 1.
It had the sound and it had the distance into the Blue Jay bullpen.
Just the 3rd hit allowed in this game by Sabathia. 2 of them solo homers. As Teoscar Hernandez put Toronto up 1-0 in the bottom of the 6th. And now this shot from Pilar.
I'll tell you what, Bill Miller's called a really good game tonight. You haven't seen either catcher turn around, and the way CC's working the corners, if it's close, he's getting it. That was in the strike zone. Up and in, down and away. Pilar's pitch was supposed to be in, it didn't get in.
This is already the 2nd longest outing of the season for Sabathia. Missed down, and the count now full on Russell Martin. With Randall Grichuk on deck, David Robertson up in the Yankee pen. Here's the 3-2. Strike 3, got him swinging.
CC comes up with a big pitch. Target's in. This time he's going to get it in there. Little cutter, and Russell Martin can't get to it. I had a feeling if he didn't get him out, you know, David Robertson's ready in the bullpen.
Right. But a big pitch from Sabathia, his 6th strikeout of the night. And now 2 out, with nobody on, and Randall Grichuk up. Strike 1.
Good changeup. Just when you look at that imaginary strike zone box, CC's been down and away on the lower outside from right-handers and up and in on right-handers as well. So it's the hitters are caught in between from CC working the strike zone, down and away, up and in, cutter in, trying to be quick. Made some very good pitches tonight.
The 1-1.
There's that changeup, down and away. Big man's done some pitching.
He's given up just 3 hits. He struck out 6, 1 walk. The efficient pitch count as well. Just 87 pitches so far for Sabathia. Here's the 1-2.
If CC can get the win tonight, he would tie Mike Mussina on the all-time Yankee wins list.
And it would also be career win number 240.
Yeah, which would tie him with I think Frank Tanana.
2-2. Roll to 3rd, and Andujar zings it across and ends the inning. 7 strong 3-hit innings for Sabathia. It's 4-2 Yankees after 7. hospitality batting practice today in the Chevy Yankees pregame. Then watch all the action of the series finale here in Toronto. It's all on Yes, streaming on Fox Sports Go. Sonny Gray will go against Gaviglio. Sonny Gray coming off a very strong start. Little two-game set here in Toronto. Giancarlo Stanton leading off the 8th against Joe Biagini. And the Hyundai scoreboard, Yankees 4, Blue Jays 2. Stanton laced that foul.
Take a look over the outside corner, going the other way. He's a little late.
Loops that into left field. Will it get down? Base hit for Giancarlo Stanton, his second of the game.
By the way, I was mistaken on Sadahara. He's actually Taiwanese and Japanese, not Korean. So
copy that.
Yeah, thank you out there in the Twitter world. But he is arguably the greatest player in Japanese baseball history.
You could see Giancarlo Stanton. He's still laughing because Reggie Willits took a spill on that foul ball he laced down the first baseline. Bird fouls it straight back. See the numbers on Biagini. Started 4 games for Toronto. That gets away from Martin. Stanton will go to second.
That will be a wild pitch. Not much Martin could do except, let's see, breaks off the thumb of his glove and ball goes to his left. And the Yankees have another run in scoring position.
Runner at second with nobody out. The other day, Greg Bird was asked if he's relieved that he feels so good at the plate that the ankle's not giving him any trouble, and he said it's not relief, it's fun. It's fun being a part of this group and getting to contribute in this lineup.
Right now, just trying to advance Stanton to third base if he doesn't drive him in himself.
Well, that will advance him to third. Bird does the job. Stanton moves to third. And with 1 out, it'll set it up for Gary Sanchez.
And it'll force the Blue Jays to bring the infield in.
Just to follow up on that Bird thought, Ken, he said, you know, when you're injured, says you feel like you're in no man's land.
Yeah.
I get up every day. I want to be competitive. I want to compete in the game. That's what I want. So for me, being in that place of not playing felt like not having a home.
Yeah. Well, that base hit last time up got Sanchez back over the 200 mark.
It started the Yankees rally.
You watch Stanton take his walking lead at third base. You walk down the line. Now Biagini is working from the stretch, so he can't go down as far as he might want to. You can get as big a lead as the third baseman's going to give you. You take that walk, you land on your right foot. Either you follow through from there and go hard, or you push back to go back to the bag to third.
That time he skips rope.
That's why you take your leads in foul territory. If you're hit with a ball, it's still a foul ball. If you're in fair territory and you get hit, you're out. Here's that walking lead, the step of finish on the right foot, then jump out of the way. I remember learning that way back in instructional league.
Yeah.
How to take a walking lead at third base.
The 0-2 to Sanchez. Blocked by Martin, 1-2. Sanchez had been 2 for his last 34 before leading off the 7th with a 2-strike line single into center. Then Gregorius was hit by a pitch. Hicks walked, and Miguel Andujar delivered a grand slam to put the Yankees up 4-1. Loop throwing in the Blue Jays pen. Swing and a miss. Sanchez down on strikes. Big strikeout by Biagini. 2 out. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. John Gibbons is going to go get Joe Biagini. He'll bring on the lefty Loop to face the lefty Gregorius with a runner on third and 2 out. One with every match live and over 300 hours of coverage. The world's biggest sporting event is just 9 days away. Fox and FS1. Looking forward to that. The energy of the World Cup. Here in Toronto, first game of a 2-game set. And the Yankees with a 4-2 lead, top of the 8th. Aaron Loop on. The lefty will face the lefty Gregorius with Giancarlo Stanton at third. 2 outs.
Loop was one of the busiest relievers for the Blue Jays last year, 70 appearances. And you can see right away why he could be tough on a left-hander. And it slings it by way of first base.
David Robertson was up in the 7th. Looks like the 8th inning will be his. Gregorius slices that foul. 0-2. Lefties hitting .244 against Loop so far this season, with just a .621 OPS. And when we talk OPS, a lot of you now know that, okay, 800's really good. Just for context, the major league average OPS is .725. Gregorius stays alive with a check swing.
So when you're holding lefties to a 621 OPS, that is a very good number.
Yeah, you're doing your job. Because many of his appearances are just like this one. John Gibbons will bring him in to face a left-hander.
Pitch. Nice stop by Martin on a pitch way wide and in the dirt. And it's 2-2 now on Gregorius.
He's sitting out there they're trying to get Didi to chase these last two pitches, and
not chasing that one.
no.
Gregorius trying to add an insurance run for the Yankees. And again, he takes away, and it's now full on Gregorius with the switch hitting Hicks on deck. Stanton leads off third. The payoff. Gregorius has been banging his feet up all game long.
I was going to say, been a rough night on the feet. First the left foot, and it looked like this was the right foot. Back of the calf.
Yeah. He'll do it again. The 3-2. Check swing. Gregorius holds up and takes ball 4. Nice battle there from Didi, and it extends the inning for Hicks.
Well, remember the count was 0-2 and just missed inside.
Now we told you the paltry OPS that lefties have against Loop. Righties, a much more respectable numbers for the offense, 731, which is slightly above average. Ball 1. Hicks walked and scored on Andujar's grand slam in the 7th. Andujar is on deck. Big swing and a miss, 1-1. Two and 1.
You can see Hicks, his right-handed hitting's just you know, the stance is about the same, but he sets up in the box a little bit differently right-handed. He's a little further off the plate. And I mentioned this the other day in Baltimore that he stands closer to the plate batting left-handed because he wants to pull the ball more and be used to doing that because left-handers at Yankee Stadium.
Gregorius is picked off, but he's going to take second. He got such an early running lead, and Smoke didn't feel like he had to play at second by the time it got to him.
Well, Smoke did the best thing, hold on to the ball, because if he throws the second, Giancarlo Stanton's going to head for home, and the Yankees are trying to pick up a double steal with 2 outs here. You want to almost get caught up in a rundown if you can. Smoke the seventh, let him go, let him have second base, and keep Stanton at third.
So second and third, 2 outs, and a 2-1 count on Hicks. 2-2.
That's the 8th stolen base of the year for Didi.
A new career high.
Yeah.
He has it in the first week of June. Aaron Boone was talking about how they felt there were more opportunities to be had in that part of Didi's game. Something they've worked on unlocking and clearly have. 2-2. Driven in the air to right field and deep. Grichuk back on the wall. It's gone! A 3-run homer for Aaron Hicks as he goes oppo. And the Yankees extend their lead to 7-2.
Well, there have been some passengers on these home runs tonight. The Yankees now with 96 home runs on the year. Second home run of the year as a right-handed hitter. Overall, number 6 for Aaron Hicks. And that's going to send a lot of people home here.
And now Loop goes inside at Andujar. And Andujar is hit by the pitch. And we'll take first.
Let's take a look at the home run. Right down the middle. Good wood. Grichuk going back. David Robertson actually makes the catch in the bullpen. Watch David Robertson if he comes into the picture here. Yeah, it's gone.
A souvenir for David Robertson. So Andujar hit with the pitch. Here's Tyler Austin. Some big insurance runs provided by Aaron Hicks. The Yankees have stormed out of that 0 for 15 skid with runners in scoring position with 2 big swings. The grand slam from Andujar in the 7th, and now a 3-run shot from Hicks in the 8th.
Well, the Yankees with what, 4 home runs in a doubleheader yesterday, 2 more today. They hit a few in Baltimore.
Austin went around. That'll end the inning, but not before the Yankees add 3 more with 2 outs, courtesy of Aaron Hicks, a 3-run shot. 7-2 Yankees.
Bring you highlights and analysis. Plus Meredith Marakovitz. Its reaction from the key players. It's only on Yes. There's one of the key players.
3-run homer by Aaron Hicks gives David Robertson and the Yankees a little more cushion to work with. Robertson will face 8, 9, and 1 in the Blue Jays order.
We have a note here. The last 10 Yankee road games, they've hit 30 home runs. Now, the only team ever to hit more than that, the 2006 Braves, hit 30 over 9 road games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hyundai scoreboard 7-2 Yankees. Well, that's the thing, Kenny. It's not like, and we knew this, but it's not like this power is just taking advantage of Yankee Stadium. No, no, no.
No.
The show travels.
Yes.
Andujar a grand slam in the 7th. Hicks a 3-run homer in the 8th. And an outstanding start tonight from CC Sabathia. Went 7 innings, allowed just 3 hits and 2 runs. 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, was economical. And is in line for his 240th career win.
Ooh.
As that was a weak wave from Diaz. Strike 3 from Robertson.
Was this in the other batter's box? Yeah, it was. And he swings at it. I think he was just determined, wherever it is, I'm swinging.
Here's Devin Travis.
As it appears now, the Blue Jays look like they're going to lose their 10th consecutive game to a left-handed starter.
Yeah. Will drop to 8-17 on the season against lefties. This is the start of a 6-game, 6-day homestand for the Blue Jays. Robertson ahead 1-2 on Travis.
Yeah, they were in Detroit just before the Yankees got there.
Lost 2 out of 3. Salvaged the Sunday finale. Robertson went back to the other batter's box just to check if Travis had the same appetite as Diaz. Broken bat rolled to second. Torres throws out Travis. 2 down. Now another quick word from Spectrum.
No data caps, no contracts, just faster speeds with better performance.
So Robertson a couple of quick outs to begin the 8th. And now Teoscar Hernandez, who hit that wall scraping home run in the 6th to start the scoring. Sabathia and Estrada both dealt today. Estrada was lifted with a runner on, nobody out in the 7th, only to watch Sungwon Oh give it up for Toronto. Six homers, 8 ribbies in 11 career games against the Yankees for Hernandez. Hernandez was acquired in the Francisco Liriano deal last year from the Houston organization. Nice off-speed delivery there from Robertson, 2-2.
Yeah, Robertson has a variety of breaking balls. He has a good one that he throws hard. One that, you know, David Cohn has mentioned the fact that you bounce one every once in a while because some of these hitters will chase him. But he also has one he takes a little off. Got a little cutter. He learned from Mariano back in the day.
That's pounded in the air, deep to left. Gardner back, deep part of the park, underneath it for the final out of the inning. So Robertson works a 1-2-3 eighth. We go to the ninth with the Yankees leading 7-2. United FC in a battle between two of the top Eastern Conference teams. The action kicks off at 12:30, presented by Etihad Airways, right here on Yes, streaming on Fox Sports Go. Greg Bird giving a little shoulder massage to David Robertson. After a 1-2-3 eighth worked from Robertson. Yankees will have 9-1-2 up here in the top of the ninth, leading 7-2. Torres, Gardner, and Stanton. Popped up a mile high in the infield. Smoke, the first baseman, makes the catch. One down.
Rare 0 for 4 for Gleyber Torres.
Tim Meza, the new pitcher out of the Toronto bullpen. Yankees have gotten to the Blue Jays pen. Toronto entered this game 25th in the league in starters ERA, 14th in pen ERA.
The ERA is going to go up a little bit.
Shreve warming. He will handle the bottom of the ninth with the Yankees holding a 5-run lead. Yankees have gotten great length from their starters these last few games. Severino with 8 innings of work in the opener of the doubleheader. Then Herman 6 2/3 last night. Sabathia 7 innings tonight. Punch to third. Nice little Olay stab by Solarte to nail Gardner for the second out.
That's twice he's gotten Gardner tonight. can't get it by him. Spins around and makes the throw to first in time. Gardner been robbed of 2 hits. He already has 1 in the game. He could have had a 3-hit night if it wasn't for that man at third base, Solarte.
Oh, and 2 on Stanton. Stanton has a couple of hits tonight. A rock double to right and a loop single to left. Stanton lofts that in the air down the right field line. Grichuk there to make the catch and end the inning. We head to the bottom of the 9th. Chase and Shreve will try and lock down a 7-2 Yankees lead. Rakovitz with you. Our entire Yes Network crew is Chase and Shreve. Comes on for the 9th to try and close out a 7-2 Yankee win. Would also extend a streak to 31 games that the Blue Jays have gone without winning back-to-back games. Hervis Solarte, Justin Smoke, Kendrys Morales, 2, 3, and 4 for the Blue Jays. This game was started by CC Sabathia through 7 sparkling innings, allowed just 3 hits, 2 runs. Yankees have gotten a grand slam from Miguel Andujar in the 7th, a 3-run shot from Aaron Hicks in the 8th. That's in the air to center field, where Hicks patrols, 1 down.
Justin Smoke, you saw that he walked in the 4th inning. He's now got 39 walks this year. He's among the league leaders. Only Aaron Judge and Mike Trout are ahead of him. This is the part of the lineup where John Gibbons, 3 consecutive switch hitters: Solarte, Smoke, and Morales.
The fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios by Verizon. Chasen Shreve with the 92-mile-an-hour well-spotted fastball. Strike 3. 3 straight fastballs, and Smoke is down looking.
Well, all the right-handed hitters in the league know that Smoke has that, I should say that Shreve has that split finger, split change. And maybe he's looking for something off speed, but caught looking, had plenty of plate.
So the Blue Jays down to their final out. Strike 1. Swing and a miss. Shreve looking sharp. It's 1-2.
Morales with the 0 for 3 tonight is now 0 for his last 12.
This was a 0-0 game into the bottom of the 6th inning as Sabathia and Estrada were both dealing. And a solo home run from Hernandez for Toronto, and then that man, Miguel Andujar, a grand slam in the 7th that helped send the Yankees on their way before Aaron Hicks added on with a 3-run homer in the 8th. Swing and a miss. Sanchez collects, tags Morales, and that is the ball game. The Yankees win it 7-2 the final as they take the first of 2 here in Toronto.
One of the hitting heroes, Aaron Hicks, with the 3-run homer, gave the Yankees plenty of insurance, and they've taken first of 2. And now they've taken, well, they won 2 in Baltimore. They split in Detroit. They won the first one here. So the Yankees are having themselves quite a road trip.
A 2-hour and 38-minute win here in Toronto as the Yankees lock it down with some late clutch hitting and some outstanding pitching. 7-2 the final. We'll be back in a moment here in Toronto.